All right, we're at Retro Fitness a week after George just tore his pec, who happens to be, of course, he's sitting right over here with his fucking pec all fucked up. And we got a couple gorillas here with us. We got Dan Rohr, and of course we got Jason over here, and we got Jason's girl. And yeah, I know it's kind of the girls don't have names. I just refer to them as girls. I know it's misogynistic, but I apologize. Anyway, we're going to make this video about techniques of how to activate your pecs. It was a request from a viewer without bringing in too much delt and all that shit, so you can still get your pecs in the game and keep the triceps minimized, etc., etc. So let's go out and do it.
Yeah, I was wondering what kind of weight you're using. If it's too heavy, you're not going to really activate what you want to activate. More of a strength lift. So I'm going to try letting it up a little bit. Focus on your squeeze. See what happens.
So go more for feel.
Yeah.
I'm sure you agree with that.
Same thing.
Go for feel, and I know you agree with that.
Yeah, just to finish this off real quick, Corey, this is what happens when you don't warm up correctly, and if you haven't bench pressed in a long time, really take the time to stretch out and warm up your pecs, because this happened last Sunday, and luckily I didn't tear any tendons, I just tore some muscle, so it'll get better within like 30 to 40 days, so just be aware if you're, you know, in your 40s, 50s, you know, whatever age, but really warm up before you guys do any type of benching, because this is totally what can happen. So
if you're doing hammer strength, incline, plate loaded machine, and you have too much weight on there, you might actually be rolling your delts into it, and you might be like pushing like this, and you're rolling your delts instead of actually being on the right angle and pushing from your chest up like that, and more getting the actual contraction of your chest, using more front delt and rolling them in. So if you're doing that, just try that and try to actually like sit forward more, get your back in there, and then push from your actual chest instead of just pushing it.
So you would recommend the hammer strength leverage machine?
Yes.
You think helps isolate your pecs?
Yes.
All right, let's go over here. Let's have a little demonstration here. Full service video here. We're going to actually have a demonstration.
You got plate on phone. I'll put plate on phone. Thanks. You want to get it? So you might, sir, like I said, I don't know if you're exactly doing this, but if you are, this could be your probably. If you say your front delts are rolling more into it, you're hitting them more, and you feel like you're hitting them more, you might be going this. Just like, I mean, you're in there. If you would actually just sit forward a little more, put your chest up, and then actually push from you, and almost always stay in line with the bar. Make sure your elbows are in line with the bar. If you actually push from your chest, you can see I'm getting more contraction right in my actual chest. Instead of, it's not in my delt at all. But if I go like this, I come forward, I'm rolling it. Now it looks like I'm doing it, but right there I'm hitting all delt, I'm not hitting my chest. If I actually bring it back like this, and I come in, I'm hitting all chest right there. So that's actually working a lot more. So if you are doing that, try that instead, and actually just get it's almost getting your angle right. If you get your angle right, you'll be perfect.
What do you got?
I was going to try this too. I was going to try out his technique, see if it works. Slow and controlled, squeeze.
Slow and controlled with squeeze.
I got no delts. I don't feel any delt in there.
It's perfect.
So we think good tip.
Very good.
And I noticed that you perform a lot of your exercises that way, especially on chest, and that it's very slow and controlled.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll start first couple of my sets. I'll go a little heavy, and then I'll drop it down to lighter weight, even some supersets. I mostly focus on just getting that pump, not too much strength behind it. If you got too much weight on there, you probably are going to feel everything else in your body other than the muscle you're trying to contract. Just try and lighten it up and focus on really what you're hitting.
And I just want to add, having trained with Jason and around Jason enough times, he's not saying that he doesn't go heavy now. He's over 400-pound bencher, no problem. But just like how we all of us kind of feel along the same line, you know, at the initial exercise is our primary mass mover, compound exercise, and then after that, once we move to more specified type of things, it's usually a little bit lighter. We do drop sets and supersets, things like this, with a lot more concentrational feel.
This is another good exercise for your chest to actually help grow and shape your chest. And the same thing, if you're doing it a little wrong, or if that's what your problem is, you're doing same thing, you feel like your front delts are rolling in a little bit, and you're going like this. This is a problem that I see a lot of people just have in general, is they come in like this, and they think they're really like hitting it. And don't get me wrong, I'm feeling my chest contract, I can feel it, but it's still to me, and just like from what I've just seen, it's still not as efficient as actually bringing your chest, rolling your scapula and your shoulders back, and then pushing out with your chest more like that, and actually squeezing with it. And then you're not hitting any front delt at all. You're actually lean in with it, and you're hitting more of your chest like that than when you're coming just like that. You're hitting more front delt, but if you actually bring it in, you actually get more of a chest. And the same thing with what they've all said. Everything's really slow and squeezing. Nothing really fast, nothing jerking, no momentum's a muscle killer. The more momentum you have, the more you're going to just lose the muscle and lose the pump. So the more you try to actually just get there and squeeze it, that's when you're going to get more of the pump. Right there, sir. So yeah, try that if you have any problems. If you are having problems rolling your shoulders in, or you're just sitting there going like this, or you're just flying real fast, try that. Try to slow it down a little bit, push out with your chest, rotate your shoulders back, and just get a nice clean squeeze in there. And try that and see what happens. There you go, sir.
This is one of my favorite ones, especially your outer pec. Got a problem with your outer pec? All right, one hand, one cable, one pulley, elbow height. Start out to there. Step forward. So if the tension is not all the way behind you, don't want to way behind you, you want an unnatural movement. But as you come around, it's almost like you're throwing a punch. But you're pulling it with this pec. You're pulling it around with the pec. You're not leading with the shoulder at all. You're leading with the pec. And then follow through with the pec. Pec. The other thing you might notice is my hand position. I'm not turned like this. If I turn my hand over more like this, now I'm really activating more of this front delt. I'm bringing in more delt, and I'm actually bringing in more medial delt. If I turn this hand like straight up and down like this, if I turn it under even, it's more exaggerated. Now I'm even bringing in more pec, less delt, right? And if I cut down on my twisting motion, so that most of it is actually the pec pulling all the way across, contracting all the way across like this, contract all the way across. So there's another thing I like to do. Really low, and it's like an uppercut. But again, you know, the pec is just pulling it across. Come across that uppers from the bottom. Uppers from the bottom. And this really, hands turning up, this really takes the shoulder out of it. You know, since I've had this shoulder injury, I got to find a lot of creative ways to do things. I feel that all burning in my pec already. For me, I think it stimulates outer pec really, really well if you have an issue with that area.
All right, what I'm about to show you is one of a typical lift that I would usually do. So I'm gonna show a heavy working set, drop down to a little lighter set, and then I'll burn it up with something else. Yeah, you want to grab one of these? little lighter. Another 10 to 12 reps. You see, I'm not throwing the weights around. Nice and slow. This is my finisher. Doing them, make sure when you come up, you get a really good squeeze up top. Slow her down. Keep tension on it the whole time. Squeeze. Back down. Do 4 good sets of that. It'll feel great, believe me.
All right, just got back from Retro, where Jason Bogman, who is half the Bogman twins, and Dan Rohr, and George Beck, and myself, we try to share some tips with you, what we think are tactics and things you can do to try and improve chest activation when you're doing a chest workout, rather than just working the hell out of your triceps and your delts, how to kind of stimulate more pec activity there. Now, one more thing I want to throw in there, and I actually have video of a chest workout that we did in the garage and where we employed this tactic big time, and we tore shit up. It's an awesome video, but YouTube, they saw fit to mute it because we had the stereo so loud out there that they thought it was, like a soundtrack and copyright infringement and some other issues. Anyhow, I can't find that shit right now because there's too much to sort through. So what I'm going to do is just explain it to you. And this is a tactic that I used when I first started lifting to gain some of my initial size, and that is pre-fatigue the pecs. And I would pre-fatigue the pec by dumbbell flies. I would use dumbbell flies and do dumbbell flies. Now you're going to have to, you move your hands, down lower or up higher, in relationship to hanging off the side of the bench, and get a really good stretch. Keep your elbows cocked, bend in them, don't straighten them all the way out. And you want to feel it in the pec. You got to feel the pec. You got to feel the pec do the thing, right? Got to feel it in the pec. You got to feel it. Okay, and do your flies, do a set of flies, and then immediately turn around on the bench and do your flat bench press. Do your flat bench press. And squeeze the pecs. You want to kind of get your brain in there. You want to feel that the chest is pulling the shoulder around. That's how it works. You want to feel this pec contract and pull the shoulders around. You don't want to just push with the triceps and the delts. You want to feel the pec squeezing. You want to feel as if you are trying to squeeze your shoulders together. You're trying to squeeze them together. You're trying to squeeze your pecs together. That's what you're trying to do as you extend your arms when you're doing any kind of exercise for pecs. All right, so that's it for now. There will be more to come. This is just something we did on the fly today while we were at the gym, and I was late, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and that's what we got for now. But there's going to be more to come, and there's going to be a lot more of this stuff, and I think probably every Sunday from now on, we're going to put some kind of thing like this up, and it'll get better and a little more detailed and all that jazz as it goes. All right, so that's it for now. I got a lot of other shit to get to today, and I hope to post some more things. So I hope you all had an awesome weekend, and unfortunately it's back to the grind tomorrow. Like a little cog, I have to jump in my car and run, hurry off to work, little cog, and jump up into your position in the machinery until you get round and smooth and your edges are worn down. Then you start to rattle and make noise because the bushings are gone, and then they just pull you out and cast you aside and pick up a younger, sharper, cleaner cut one and just stick it in your place. But we want to keep it positive. So that's not really what it's like at all. All right, anyway, you guys have an awesome weekend, and of course, you know I'm kidding. I'm happy with my life. I love my life. I'll talk to you guys later.